Brian, I'm excited. Actually, I think that this is going to work perfectly.
All
You look
right.
like
There you go.
Show me what you got.
Rangers, we need teenagers with attitude.
Maybe good, maybe bad, man. Eventually lead me from one boy, not this wretched head.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Media Man Dan podcast. Today, I welcome back my friends in Slanderus, and we're going to be talking about the brand new single, Invert Your Eyes. That was one take, I promise you. It was not multiple takes.
Right.
I just reacted to the brand new song, and I absolutely loved it. However, I want to ask, where was the screamy part that I was expecting? Because on the intro to the last interview, I used that screamy song, and I was like, what? I need that.
Damn. Yeah. I didn't know. I felt there was no screamy part in this one. You know, I was just like, I couldn't find the screamy part. That's what happened. I just couldn't find it. It was gone. It wasn't there this time.
No worries. I love the harmonies on it, and I love the percussion on it. I also love how much it builds as it's going on. Like, you start out with this like droning, repetitive guitar riff, and then you get more comfortable with what's coming in. And then, Alan, you just kill it on the vocals as expected. You get to that beautiful chorus, super catchy hook with some awesome harmonics. And then we go through and through to get to more guitar solo, more bass, more drums. And it's a whole package. It's exactly what I want to hear from you guys moving forward. And I want to know, is this going to be on an EP, LP, or just a single?
That's a good question.
I think right now it's probably just a single for now, and eventually it'll probably be on an LP once we get some more singles going later on. We'll probably compile those into an EP.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just realized I'm not center. Okay. But so since the last time we talked, it was in July. How was your August, September, and October?
Damn. Well, we've been really working on this single. You know, it's an interesting experience to just work on one song. You know, and I think it's came out pretty good. We did focus a lot on that one song.
I don't know if anything could be as awesome as knowing that I still have not seen Forrest Gump. I'm a fake. I'm a fraud. But I'm looking forward to going through some classic movies right now. My fiance and I are watching some suspense thrillers from Alfred Hitchcock. So I'm going to go through all those, go through the 60s, 70s, and then I will finally end up in the 90s, watch Forrest Gump, and understand why you guys want to smack me across my face when I say I haven't seen it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll really enjoy it. It's a very diverse, it's very diverse in its sort of plot. You know, it goes through a lot of different phases, and Tom Hanks does a really good job of, you know, not going full retard, let's say, you know, because you can't go full retard, and Tom Hanks didn't.
I still got to see the rest of Tropic Thunder to understand that.
Oh my god.
Dude, you're killing me.
I know.
Oh,
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I
Tropic
did
Thunder's so good.
rewatch 21 Jump Street, the
There
Channing
you go.
Tatum, Jonah Hill
Oh
movie,
yeah.
oh,
just to
Yeah,
see
yeah,
how
yeah.
it holds up. And my God, is that movie funny? It is so funny.
Oh. Have you seen 22nd Jump Street?
Yes, of course. I own both.
Yeah.
I got the dual pack, but for the first one, I just remember that was like my first time with raunchy rated R comedy as a high
Okay.
schooler. I was a very Christian boy, so it was like just spreading my wings to this whole new idea of swearing on camera. And that was the coolest thing to me.
Yeah.
Are you still a Christian boy?
I am a believer in God, but not a
I
considered
see.
Christian or Catholic as I was.
I would say your spirituality evolved a bit. Yeah, evolved a bit.
Indeed.
And so it went from like a dogma to I guess you're going into the more rational, logical realm.
I'm going into the realm of analyzation when it comes to
yeah,
realizing what is and isn't what I consider God's will. So like
yeah,
what's
yeah.
leading me to do things. Like today I was like, I need to wear my Avenged Sevenfold shirt, but it's deep in my pile of laundry. There's no way I'm going to find it before this interview.
You found it.
It was the first thing I grabbed.
did.
Hot topic, always
Yeah.
bringing it.
Yeah.
Oh, I could talk about this religious, philosophical shit all day, bro. That's what I
I'm
do.
totally down for anything you want to talk about. Let's go back to the original question. August, September, October. How was your last 3 months? How was everything?
That's been pretty good. Like we just mostly been working on these new singles, like getting those down, getting in the studio, recording those, and then we played the whiskey, and we just did like a couple shows like here and there. You know, we did the whiskey, and then we played like a Halloween like backyard party a few weeks ago. That was fun, and just doing that, doing our usual practice, and then we shot a music video for the new single a few weeks ago, and we just been trying to like build up hype and create awareness for the new single and stuff, and going from there.
Sick.
See what we can do.
Any big bands that you guys were opening for, or were you the headliner?
The last big show we did was at the Whiskey A Go Go, and we opened for Metal Church.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
Well, not
Yeah.
personally, but I know of it. Yeah, we're best friends. We go way back.
Yeah, it was cool. It was fun. It was a good time, and
Oh,
it was
fuck yeah.
cool seeing all the other bands and stuff, and meeting, like playing a show with Metal Church, meeting the guys in Metal Church and stuff, and hanging out. It's kind of interesting being like behind the scenes, like when you see like some of these bigger bands when they're there, you go to see them at the show and stuff, but then when you show up like earlier in the day when they're like setting up, everybody's like in t-shirts and basketball shorts, or everybody's just chilling and doing sound checks and hooking up, setting up their equipment and all that stuff, and so it's kind of fun to see those behind the scenes too.
Yeah, especially if it's a band that like wears stage makeup or is known for like that. I'm guessing like back in the day with like Kiss, that they would just be exactly like shorts and t-shirts, just like setting everything up, and they're like, who the hell are those guys? You're like, that's Kiss. What? They have faces. That's awesome though, that you got to have the background of like what goes on behind the scenes. I was just talking to another band, and they said that they were meeting some not so nice people that they thought were really big and would be so open to being like, just friendly with other bands, but they were completely away from everyone. So it depends on the band, but for me, my experience on stage and stuff like that, from what you were saying with the shorts and t-shirts and casual wear, we would always do setting up the show for musicals in high school and just getting the stage ready and all of the props, and that was so cool. And then when everyone got in the costumes, I was like, oh man, there goes the fun. Like it was so much more fun to just like be in your regular stuff and just just walking up and down these wooden stairs and nailing things and hammering stuff. It was fun. But what was your favorite thing about playing the Whiskey? Did you guys have a huge crowd there?
It was definitely bigger than what we used to.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it was dope. It was dope. I mean, it was an actual like nice crowd.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, you know, where we had people like on our stage, like they were on our, you know, they had their hands on the fucking stage. I was like, oh shit, all these dudes are here.
That's awesome.
I mean, I was a little bit worried at first just because we were the first band that played, and at first it was a little bit lower than what I was thinking we were gonna get, but then like after our first song or something, it really started filling out. So I would think it was just more of there wasn't that many people coming in yet.
Nice.
So. It was nice being like during the show, you know, when Alan's doing his talks and stuff, and actually having people react to what he's saying, and we're like getting that reaction.
Yeah, it wasn't a drunk dude in the corner, you know.
Yeah. I was like doing the backs like you know. Yeah. It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Did you guys sell any merch? And if you did, was it Gumpcore?
No, we didn't sell any merch at that show, only because that venue takes a percentage of your merch sales.
That's how it goes.
Yeah,
that's
okay. Not only
that,
but out of the I think the other 3 bands all brought merch, and their setups were like way bigger than ours.
Oh, gotcha.
So we would have kind of been dwarfed in the corner.
Here's Slanderus. Here's everyone else.
Yeah,
exactly.
But I think it was like the band, not even like Metal Church, like one of the other bands brought like this big like cardboard like cutout display thing for their with like their band logo and stuff on
they
it.
selling lemonade.
I don't know about that, but I mean they got all stuff. They were kind of more of a I would say like more traditional like 80s kind of like metal, like rock metal, kind of like Van Halen-y kind of group, I guess.
Nice.
A little bit like that. They had like they had like girls in like kind of like go-go outfits and stuff there too. It's like
I think that was the Bites. That was the
the Bites.
Like,
that's who I'm talking about. The Bites.
Yeah.
Cool guys. I'm just
they're like
compared to them, like our merch setup would have been nothing.
Like wah, wah.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome though. Either way, even if you didn't sell merch, did you guys get a really cool crowd reaction from that one song that I was talking about last time? I can't remember what it was, but it was all about hoes and money.
Oh, the Hedonist?
Yes. I didn't play that one at that show.
I don't know. We didn't play that one.
Oh, okay. What was getting the crowd riled up for that? Show?
I think Absorbing Infinity had a really good reaction. Also, our was Invert Your Eyes had a really good reaction.
That was our debut of Invert Your Eyes.
Yeah. A lot of people loved it. I was like, oh, that's cool. That was really cool. You know,
and we added with Absorbing, we added a new little. Alan added a new little thing to it, so especially for the live shows.
Little cat puppet.
I was like, more vocal lines? No,
I think it's on well, technically, I think it's on our Instagram. We got we put a video montage together, and you can see it in that.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll have to play that.
Yeah,
it's in that little clip. It's like for the promote the new single promo video, and then there's a little clip of Alan with the puppet and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted, because it's very random. Like it makes no sense, which is why I did it. Like I want people to be like, "What the fuck? Like what happened?" You know, like because it's like it's all this epic thing, and then the song quiets down, and I just get a little cat puppet. I'm just like, meow, and people are like, "What the fuck?" Like,
but at the same time, I mean, we've had we started doing little things with like frisbees and stuff at shows too. Occasionally, it's
nice.
We've had people recognize us later on. It's like, "Oh, you're the band with the frisbees and stuff." So I'm just thinking. So in my opinion, it's like if we can get remembered as the band with the cat puppet, then
it's better than frisbee.
That's one more person remembering us.
Yeah.
Do you have the little kitty thing from Despicable Me that you could do that with the book? Your little fingers, little finger puppets.
No.
That'd be funny.
It's a regular Amazon one.
No, but that is definitely out there. I've never heard of somebody coming out with a cat puppet and going. That's great though.
I wanted to do like something like completely random. Something completely random. Where it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I love that shit.
Gets a reaction. So with the new song that everybody was totally rocking with, What was your favorite thing about performing it for the first time? Was it the just the build up part? Was it more of just catching like a lot of people in the crowd and seeing if they were singing along to the chorus? Did you get them to sing with you before you guys started the song? Like here's the first
I really
part,
like,
here's the
yeah,
second part.
I really like singing the oil part just because people really enjoy that. So, you know, like when I was like, oh yeah, like everyone's like, oh yeah, it's cool, I like that, that's really awesome. You know, it's yeah, everything just flows together really nice. It's a fun song to perform. It's hard to
Yes.
sing. You know,
Yes.
like I have to take some liberties that I can't do obviously on the album. Like I remove words like superfluous words like the, you know, and things like that, just so I can hit the next note. Just because, you know, on studio I have plenty of time to do whatever I want, but
Yeah.
on stage I'm huffing and puffing, man. It's a hard song to hit perfectly. You know, it's a hard. I mean, I hit all the. I feel like I hit all the high notes, and just maybe some stuff is it's a little. It feels a little, and especially if we did at the end of the set, so I was pretty tired. But I feel like I still did pretty decent. So yeah, and the crowd loved it. The crowd loved it. You know, we got a lot of
Nice.
hollers and cheers and, you know, clappings and all that stuff.
You said end of the set, so was that like the last song that you guys performed?
I think wasn't it, Jason?
I
I think it's
believe
the last song,
I
right?
believe it was.
Yeah,
because we flipped it. So yeah. Like,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the last song. Yeah.
Awesome. What a great way to go out too. Because
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
leave a mark on them, especially with the cat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
I think of my favorite thing is the harmonies on that song. Do you guys use backing track at all with the vocals?
Yeah, there's backing tracks for, especially for Oil. The chorus though, that was through like a AI thing.
Oh,
So
really?
Oh, I think you mean. Do you
The-
mean
on stage.
backing tracks live?
On stage, yeah.
Oh, we don't really use backing tracks
Okay.
live at all.
Because
so.
I was like, do you
Oh, no,
harmonize
no.
with yourself? Do you
no,
drop down
no.
so you can
I
breathe?
try to have Jason. Yeah, I try to have Jason do the backing tracks for
Nice.
for like the Oil.
Combination
and I do
of
have
combination of that. I was gonna say your effects pedal board.
and I have an effects pedal. Yeah, so like the double
Yeah.
vocals and stuff like that.
Oh,
you
cool.
know.
Oh,
yeah.
that-
So I have an effects pedal.
That's so cool, man. But you do cut out, like you said, the superfluous words like the and all of that.
Yeah,
Because you need
yeah.
to breathe. Do you guys get
Yeah.
water breaks? Because like I've seen some bands that just completely go all the way through their set without a water break, and I'm like, how do you do that?
No, I mean I drink water when like I'm not singing. So like if, you know, Jason's doing a solo, I'll just step to behind me and get a water and
See, I would
swig it,
hope
you know?
that. But I've seen
Yeah.
some freaking leads that they will engage the crowd the whole time. The guy with water will come up and they'll be like, nah, I got this. Like, oh my
Fuck
gosh,
that,
how do they
bro.
do that?
Fuck that. You'll faint, man.
That's what I would
You'll
think.
faint. Like I almost fainted one time because it was hot and we played at Rockefellers and I was holding a note and like I started to black out and I was like, no, I can't have to release the note, and I released it. I was like, I can't, yeah. And but I was already like fainting. I was like, no way. You know, imagine without water. Hell no, man.
Yeah,
It's just
crazy. I think that was
I would say that show was rough for at least me as well. So it wasn't just
Oh,
him.
yeah.
My eyes were burning. I was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm a big boy, man, and I'm one of them. You know, I can't run a marathon. You know, maybe I can, but it would be very, very difficult.
And with your eyes burning, were you wearing those sunglasses?
Actually, back then I don't think I was. No.
I
Didn't
know
get
I
the cool
was,
shades yet.
but it was
Yeah,
still
no, I
hot.
didn't have-
We
no,
were
I didn't
just
have 'em
in
yet.
direct sunlight. It was just like direct sun.
This is like middle of the day.
What?
Yeah.
Summer in California, so like 102 at least.
I thought this
I'm
was
a
night.
fan.
No,
Oh my
no, this was
God.
like
No.
Like Death Valley shit too. Oh my god.
pretty much, yeah. Maybe not fully Death Valley, but pretty close.
Yeah,
Wow.
close.
Wow.
Yeah, so
You'd be burning up. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was a cool show though. It was just like it was hot as fuck when we played. That's all.
Oh. Sorry, I had to turn on the fan. Oh,
Okay. I was like, did you
Speaking
just
of
go to the
hot.
bathroom in your room? What's going on? I remember last time we had Jason, he was about to be introduced and then he just walked off. It was so funny.
Oh yeah.
To
I
close
forgot
your
what
door.
happened.
You were closing your door.
Oh
I
yeah,
remember
that's
that.
right. Yeah.
That was so good.
Oh, damn, it's crazy sausage. Yeah, but yeah, it was dope. It was a dope show, man. I hope we have more of those.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any planned out for next year so far, or is it just still going with the flow and seeing what happens with the new single?
No. Well, we got like one show this Saturday, and that's about it for now. We don't really have any other shows planned out. Trying to get some time to just like work on other stuff too, because
Yeah.
we got like it's like seems like, or at least for me, I always have shit going on like every weekend, and I'm trying to like free up some time to like work on new stuff and do some other stuff too. So I'm working on like not booking up like all my weekends and shit. So I'm trying not to book any shows next month unless something like really cool comes up, unless it's something where it's like a bunch of bands we know, and or which is funny because I saw there was a show actually like that coming up, but of course I'm going to be on vacation out of town that weekend.
Oh,
Dang
there you
it.
go.
Bring the
Yeah.
vacation with you.
Shit. Yeah.
No, but
No bueno.
that is top priority. Anybody that you guys personally know and love that you could jump on stage with, that way they can get to know you and then continuously say, hey, let's tour together, something of that sort. That's how I would imagine networking goes on the scene, but I know that agents get involved and ruin everything, like Billy Joel's life.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's what we try to do. I'm trying to do like more networking and stuff too. When I can, I'm trying to go to like a show that we're not playing and see bands that like either we played with before or we would be down to play with in the future, and just kind of meet them, meet the promoters that are at hosting that show, or the venue owner or whatever, and see what we can do to kind of get our foot in the door with some like other shows, other promoters and whatnot.
And you guys are planning on staying in state, or are you guys planning on going out and trying to find everything on your own with other areas like Vegas, which is not too far from you guys?
I mean, I'd be down for a Vegas show. It's just I don't really know anybody in Vegas, and I don't know any promoters in Vegas or anything. So
personally, I would say before Vegas, we should at least try and do San Diego, because that's a lot closer to us than we.
Yeah, definitely do.
We don't really play down there at all.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, San Diego too. Yeah.
Let's go to Tijuana.
Ooh, now you're talking.
What's it called?
Tijuana.
Tijuana.
Oh, Tijuana.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool too.
Do you want to know how I know that word? It's gonna make me feel real stupid.
Yeah.
Tijuana.
I think that Nickelback had it in a lyric recently.
Wow.
Be like, that's it. Interview is over.
I actually would have closed down my thing if I didn't think it was gonna be really hard to get back in.
That's how much you hate Nickelback. I love it. I love it. That's passion, man. That's passion. You got layers. You're like an onion.
Yeah, yes, I'm like an onion.
I'm an onion.
So last time we talked about some TV shows, some movies. This time I want to talk about some childhood memories. What was like your favorite like toy growing up? Like, what was something that brought you guys out of your comfort zone and you were just like, I'm gonna rock with this pogo stick or hula hoop or whatever? It's just a random question. It was bothering me. I was like, I didn't ask them anything random. I was so freaking by the book. Yeah.
All right. Who wants to be the first?
Dead silence.
Okay, I'll be the first. Fuck it. You want to be the first? I'll be the first.
No, go ahead.
All right, fuck life. I'll go fuck, bro. I'll do it. All right. So when I was a child, I would say around 10 or 11. Now this was probably, I want to say 2000, 2001.
Dang.
The Pokemon craze just, blew up, man. And I was addicted to them fucking Pokemon cards, man. I would, it was really awesome. It was really awesome. Mostly because all of my friends had Pokemon cards. My cousin had Pokemon cards. My brother had Pokemon cards. And so I wanted to be like everyone else who was really cool and had all the Pokemon cards, and so I remember I would wait in line for booster packs and all kinds of shit. And I was like, you know, I would go to, you know, 3 different 7-Elevens or
Gas
what was
stations,
it back then?
yes.
Gas
Yes.
stations, and like, you guys have them in stock? You guys have them in stock? Like, no, we don't have them. I'm like, God damn it, you know. And I remember when they did have them in stock, I was like, oh fuck yeah, fuck yeah. And they were like $7 back then, you know.
Yeah.
To me, that was a lot of money since I was 11, you know. But I was like, fuck. I used to like try to save up money and, you know, beg my mother, you know. I mean, it influenced me so much to the point where I actually stole for the first time. Yeah, I think I was. Yeah, I stole or tried to steal. Some piece of shit ratted me out, fucker. But, you know, like it was nobody's business.
JJ.
Dude, it was nobody's business. Like he fucking ratted me out. Who was I? I wasn't hurting him. You know, he was just being a rat, like fucking little rat. Anyway, so you know, I went into I think it was KB Toy Store, and
Nice.
I went in and I'm just like, oh man, I think I bought Pokemon cards at the time, and I was just checking out other stuff, and you know, we went out. I went outside, and I knew I wasn't going to purchase any more Pokemon cards because I don't have any more money. And so I see my bro, he comes out with like a new like fucking starter deck. And I was like, oh damn, like how did you do you have more money? Like what's going on? You know, I was like, oh no, I just took it. I'm like, what the fuck? Like you just
You
took
can
it.
do that?
Yeah. I was like, but it's not yours. And then I was like, fuck. I was like, man, I want I want Pokemon cards, you know? So then I went in and I tried to like do it with the cash register, you know, because there's a bunch of cards in like right in front of the fucking cashier, you know. But I was like, oh, I could do it, you know. And when the cashier wasn't looking, I just reached over, grabbed it, and then tried to put it in my pocket. And I looked to my left, a little piece of shit kid was looking at me. I'm like, fuck, man, this fucker's gonna rat me out. I bet you, you know. And then like I try to like just put it like I was like, all right, fuck it, I got caught, you know. I'm just gonna put it, you know, back where it's at, and just walk away. You know, and the cashier didn't notice, so I was like, okay, well, this guy, but it's fine, you know.
No
Fucking cashier
cameras?
comes up to me. I know there's no cameras back. Well, there are probably cameras back then, but I don't know if they had cameras. They didn't
Okay.
check, you know. So you know, the cashier comes up and he's like, "Hey, I'm here to talk to you," and he takes me to the back and he's like, "Oh, you were trying to steal, blah 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 blah." I'm like, "Oh, that piece of shit, fucking ratted me out." You know, and then he was like, okay, I don't want to ever see you in this toy store again, blah blah blah.
Oh my god!
And then I went outside and I felt so bad like the whole day. I was like, I feel so dirty, you know, like felt so guilty, you know.
Yeah,
that's
like, they do that guilt trip so well. Anybody that works in business for a kid, like you take that shit serious. Not these days though. Kids are such pieces of shit these days. They don't give a fuck about anybody or anything. Like they just do whatever the hell they want, and their parents are completely at fault for it. Because I've never been enabled to do anything I wanted without my parents' permission, as far as I remember. And my dad, if he knew where I was in the store, or if he didn't know where I was, it was a whistle. And if I didn't respond to that whistle, I was in trouble. And my mom grab me by the arm and make sure that we are going out of the building at the same time. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. Or it's I'm gonna leave you, and then you're gonna have to figure out a way home. You know, that's how you do it. And I feel like these days kids just handed smartphones and devices and shit like that, and the parents are like, I think I did my parenting correctly. This should be perfectly fine. And their little angel is a piece of shit to my fiance, who is a third grade teacher. And I'm like, this is not cool. This is not right. Yeah. I don't remember anything like this. But Pokemon being such a nostalgic and amazing, and it's still going. I remember the first time as well collecting. I met a friend. This was actually one of my first friends where I didn't meet them through any specific activity or just randomly. I think that our parents knew each other or something like that. And they had this whole collection in a binder, which he actually gave me his spare binder.
Shit.
Yeah, and I was like only trading for shiny cards. That's all I wanted. If it shined, it was mine.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter if it was like the worst character with the lowest HP. I needed that card in my collection because it's shiny. So like I'd have like a fucking Jigglypuff.
Holographic
Pikachu, Raichu, all of that. Did you ever have the Yu-Gi-Oh craze, or were you guys too old for that?
Oh yeah, no,
I still have technically like 2 of my decks.
Yeah.
Damn.
Do you remember going to like?
I have mine somewhere.
Do you remember going to fast food places and you can get the little stickers on the front?
For Yu-Gi-Oh?
Did we lose Brian completely?
Oh, he left.
Shit.
Oh no, Brian.
He said, "I'm not
Brian.
Yu-Gi-Oh!" and that was it.
Oh no, Brian.
He said the
just said,
magic
"Fuck you
word.
guys." He's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Fuck that. Maybe he went to go get his cards.
He probably did go get his card.
He go to show us. He's like, "Oh, let me show you my cards."
But yeah, so Yu-Gi-Oh! I remember I played the video game. I loved the video game. That was on PlayStation. And
Yeah.
it
I played
gave you
Duelist
that-
for a Rose or something like that. I think
yeah,
that's the one
something
I
like
played.
that, where they have like
Yeah.
the little card, the usual board that you would see with friends, but
Yeah.
nobody played with boards. We were all just, doing the usual Pokemon thing and just like, my
Yeah,
character
yeah,
has more stars than yours, so obviously it's attacking harder.
yeah. No,
Like-
I actually bought the boards, bro. I love the board.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah, I bought the Yu-Gi-Oh boards, the Pokemon, like everything. I bought the boards. I love the
Shit,
boards.
man. I was
Yeah,
so
it was
behind.
dope, dude.
I only did Beyblade, and that was
Oh,
way
yeah.
after. And those were
Yeah.
the little like arena things. Those were fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I remember I got jacked too. I mean, that's another experience I had. I got jacked because I had the Blue Eyes White Dragon from a booster pack. It wasn't for the starter deck, right? So there's the starter deck Blue Eyes White Dragon, and then there's the booster pack Blue Eyes White Dragon. You have to get, and that one's hard to get.
Yes,
And so
it
I
is.
was really proud of it, man. Like I was like, fuck yeah, bro. Like it looked different. It was like I got this badass Blue Eyes White Dragon, and I was at a library one time, and my ego was like, I got this cool fucking Blue Eyes White Dragon. This little kid comes up to me. He's like, whoa, that's that new Blue Eyes White Dragon. I'm like, yeah, bro. He's like, could I see it? I'm like, sure, look. And then he grabs it and he fucking books it. I'm like, oh. I was like, and in my head, I couldn't comprehend how someone could just take something that isn't theirs, and I still have that innocent, naive mindset where I was like, no, he can't. Like, I'm just waiting for him to come back,
Exactly.
I'm just like, like, that's not his. He's obviously going to come back.
Yeah, the ill will
and then
can't possibly
and then
be willed.
Yeah, after like 5 minutes, I was like, okay, is he not coming back? And then it dawned on me, like, oh shit, he's not coming back. Fuck, and then I just book it outside. But I already waited like 5 minutes. This fool was gone, and then this kid outside, he was like, oh, he went that way. And in my mind, I'm thinking that guy probably tricked me. He probably went the other way, but whatever. So I ran that way, and I was just looking for him. Never found him, man. Never found him. And he took my favorite card. I was like, oh. And I'm sure that card is worth money now.
Oh,
But, yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Having the different, like you said, there's a starter pack version. And
Yeah, it's the booster pack version.
booster
It was the
pack
booster
version.
pack
Yeah.
I'm
that
like,
is rare.
fuck. Yeah, I was like, yeah, because you can't get it from the starter deck. It's like, that's how I was like, fuck, man. And I was really excited about that fucking Blue Eyes White Dragon. I'm like, piece of shit stole it from me. And I was like,
Yeah.
it just like, man, I have trouble comprehending malice. It's like one of those things. Like, I was mugged before, and I remember the guy who took my phone and my jacket and my money that I had in my wallet. And I went back home and I sat down and I just couldn't believe. Oh, look, I think Brian's back.
Brian
sorry
is
about
back.
Sorry about
I'm
that.
not
I thought my
kidding.
computer had enough battery to run without.
No, you're good,
charged.
man. Dude, I swear to
Oh,
God, I
no.
literally grabbed you to pull you into this meeting, and it showed you perfectly until I put you in the fucking meeting.
I got it fixed a little bit, and then
And
what
it
just happened?
put you ghostly
Give me a
again.
second here.
Yeah.
Let me see what I can do.
Okay.
Do, do, do.
Anyway, Brian, we were talking about the collectors. What is it called?
Hey.
The booster pack
The
of
booster
Blue
pack.
Eyes White
Yeah.
Dragon.
This is it.
Relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's it. Oh, nice. You're all round now.
I do like
that-
the round.
I just won't have a green screen thing.
Uh,
So what is this about
uh,
Blue Eyes?
Blue
So I
Eyes.
was telling him that like, I got jacked. I had a Blue Eyes White Dragon that was like rare, and it came out of the booster packs, not the starter deck. So then it was like, but I showed it up to this kid, and he just booked it with it. Like, he just grabbed it and ran out. And I couldn't believe he stole it. Like, I was like, what the? No, he's gonna come back.
Dude, I have a couple stories about stuff like that too. So
Yeah.
Go with it.
Yeah.
Go with
All
it.
right, I mean, if I can interrupt Alan about that. So I had this
Go
one.
ahead.
I have two of them like that. Two of them kind of. What about stealing? What about just a really rare card? So there's one time where I think it was like I was in middle school or something. I had this one card. I think I got it in a trade or something like that, but it was one card that, like, I think at the time was worth something like $100 just on its own, like according to like what the magazines and stuff were saying.
Wow.
Damn.
And it was like a pretty decent card, and stuff like that. I was surprised I got it and stuff like that. I think I let a friend borrow it, and then he just magically lost it.
He wouldn't do that, man.
Yeah.
How long were you guys friends for after that?
I don't remember. I know I'm not friends with him anymore. It didn't really continue after middle school, so
There you go. That makes
You
sense.
can reconnect.
yeah.
Reconnect.
Yeah, you should reconnect and be like, where the fuck is my card?
Where's my card, bro? Where's my card?
Where's my card,
He's
bro?
like my son. He's like my son.
The other one wasn't stolen, but it's kind of on the same thing as like what Alan was saying about like pulling a Blue Eyes out of the pack. I think it was this random thing I got for Christmas, where it was it was like a random, like technically I think unlicensed Yu-Gi-Oh thing, but it was like it was still official. It was basically it was something like inside. You open this thing up and you're gonna get randomly like one, like graded, like PSA graded like trade a Yu-Gi-Oh card. So it's like this is it's in the like the card sleeve that you can't open up, and it has like basically it's like the stuff you want to get if you're gonna actually like go for like trying to get money out of these things too.
Nice.
And the big chases of it were like, oh, you can get like these, like I don't know, like basically like all the big cards at the time and stuff like that. I opened it up and somehow I was lucky enough to pull like a PSA graded, I think it was like a 9 or a 10 Dark Magician.
What?
And that was like that was one of the like chase cards. Like I've only ever seen one of these. It was the only one I ever saw, only one I ever got, and I ended up getting like one of the biggest cards you could get out of it. And I think when all my trading cards just got like either like sold in a garage sale or something, that went with it. And I'm like, I'm kicking myself now because I probably could have gotten like at least a couple hundred for it now.
Yeah.
That would have been a Dark Magician from the packs, and those are the ones you want.
Did you get any fusion cards so you could like upgrade your Blue Eyes to like Red Eyes Black Dragon or anything like that?
You see, I was into Yu-Gi-Oh for a long time, and especially into the GX era where like fusions were the big deal, so there was tons of fusions everywhere.
Yep.
But there's other things like I was also a subscriber to the manga magazine Shonen Jump, which is like where Yu-Gi-Oh originated from.
Okay.
And if you're a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, I would totally recommend you, at least at the time, subscribing to that.
Yeah.
Because like the way I got into buying those was I was at the grocery store one day, saw one of those on the magazine rack, and it was like $5 magazine. And with this magazine, you'll also get a copy of Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon.
Oh,
like a legit copy of Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. And it was like a $5 magazine.
Yeah, that's an easy steal right there.
Yeah.
Easy steal.
I mean, it's probably not worth a lot because it's like a special one printed specifically for the magazine, but like I got a lot of good cards out of that. Like I remember one that when I was playing it when I was in high school too, and I got one that was like a playable Obelisk the Tormentor, which if you don't remember, like back in the day, the God cards were technically like illegal to play. This was like the first one ever printed that what you could actually use in a duel. Like they made it legal.
Damn.
As I remember, like pulling that out in games and being like, freaking just people out, like
upsetting people.
I can legitimately play a God card. Like, how do you? I mean, nowadays that's not a big deal, but it was like at the time that was the only one you had, and it was like not everybody knew it existed.
Let's not forget about the one and only anime that never could make it, no matter how hard it tried, because Pokemon was just so damn successful. Digimon.
Yeah.
I mean, Digimon's still around, actually.
It is, but look at
like
the
it's not
success
big,
rate.
but it's there. Yeah,
it's barely in third place. It's only third place by default.
I don't think it's third. I don't think it's third place anymore because there's like Yokai Watch and stuff that's kind of
and Bakugan,
Bakugan,
yeah. They did upgrade all of that. The kids these days, they don't get it. They just don't get it.
Nah.
Were you here when I said something about Beyblade? No, I think you left at that time. I had the Beyblade thing with the little arena and stuff like that. That was like my big thing. He was talking about, Ellen was talking about having the board for Yu-Gi-Oh! And I only remember seeing the board in like the video game, which was just epic. If you want to see some really cool footage, I'll just pop it up here because yeah, great graphics. Minecraft, get out of the way. No, I'm just kidding. 2001 PlayStation game, definitely not gonna look great these days. But
well, I mean, you talk about that stuff with Yu-Gi-Oh! They've been coming out with like a bunch of like big deal collector's items and stuff, like a full like adult size dual disc that you can buy and stuff.
What?
Oh yeah, they like go look it up. Like they've made these like over the last like few years, they've been making like a big yearly collector's edition thing. Like they did a full size like adult size dual disc. If you remember back from the show, Kaiba had like a briefcase that he carried all his cards in and stuff.
Yes,
you can get that briefcase now.
Unbelievable.
Yo, Brian.
Yeah.
So there's a Yu-Gi-Oh 2001 Shonen Jump Blue Eyes White Dragon card on eBay that's on sale for 27 grand. And yeah,
that was before I subscribed.
Yeah, it says Shonen Jump Lottery prize cards, ultra rare. So it looks like the Shonen Jump cards are actually worth a lot.
Well, that one sounds like it was a competition because it said lottery.
Yeah, it could be.
These were a lottery.
Right,
you bought the magazine, you got the card.
I could buy my car 4 times for that price.
There's a Yu-Gi-Oh card that I think recently went on the market. It was like a card that was made for a kid for the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Okay.
And it was like, I think he got better and he recently just sold it for like, I think what was it, like near $1 million or something like that, because it's like a 1 of 1.
Was it like signed?
I don't think so. Let me look this up.
What kind of monetary value is a card that doesn't even have a signature? $1 million.
Well, because it's a 1 of 1. It's a card that only one copy of it exists in the world.
Is his
so
face
if you
on
own it, I think technically it's named after him.
Okay, there we go. That's it.
Yeah, it's what is it? Tyler the Great Warrior is what it's called. It's considered the rarest Yu-Gi-Oh card.
No offense to the kid. I'm glad that he's okay, and of course I think that's wonderful they gave it to him. But what a fucking stupid name.
It says as of this writing, the top bid is for $156,800.
Yeah. That's pretty
Every
good.
time I hear these prices, I keep hitting myself in the head on why I didn't keep my Power Ranger collection. Why I didn't keep them and sell them. I had no idea what kind of value they were going to have in the future because everybody was on the Beanie Baby craze. You know, we're all.
Bro, I have my Beanie Babies. They're fucking worthless.
You're damn right.
They became worthless later.
Because it's like Jesus Christ, I have them since I was like 9. Like I have all of them, and it's like I could sell one for like the same thing I bought it for. Like,
I think the creator got canceled or something like that. That was what made him like lose all of his significance. And it's sad because all of the collection, all of the capitalism to go into this huge collection of our parents telling us like, we're gonna get you through college. We just need a couple more Beanie Babies. That ended, and now they have nothing to say. They also would say like, you can't use a calculator. Having a calculator in class is wrong. And now we're at the stage where everything has a calculator.
Okay, I do want to argue though is there's way too many. I worked for a short time in like education after school stuff, and there is way too much of a reliance on calculators now.
Oh, definitely.
Like, I get it. Like, like everyone has a calculator now, and like that whole thing about like you're not always gonna have a calculator on you thing is totally wrong. But the fact that like kids can't do like almost basic arithmetic without a calculator is like that's pushing it. Like seriously.
But they keep leveling up on brick, dude. You know what that is, Brian?
I've never heard of brick, dude. I'm guessing it's some game.
Brick Dude or Block Dude or whatever the hell it is. It's one of those built-in games for the TI-84. It was supposed to be banned because it was one of the games that we got on our calculator, but no one would pay attention to anything going on in class. We would just be playing to level up. I beat it in my bus ride home, and I was like, yeah, my life is complete. It's like Mario, but you just have to like stack bricks so that you can get out of situations, and it's just like obstacle course basically. It's very good for your mind, but oh my gosh, is it not good if you want to pay attention in school?
Yeah.
But Jason, did you have any history with Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Power Rangers, anything?
I did watch the original Power Rangers series when it first came out. Like I got into the original series. I was really into that, and I tried to get like the Power Rangers figures. Like I remember the Green Ranger one was very sought after. That was like super hard to get. Like the 12-inch figures at the time. Like those
the
were
tall
pretty
ones.
hot. Yeah, they were like tall ones. They're about like 12-inch or so. Like,
Yeah,
or whatever. Those
not the
ones,
head flipping ones.
yeah. They had those too. Those were the smaller ones. Yeah. Those were pretty popular. I remember those. And yeah, those were pretty sought after. And I don't think I was ever able to get like the Green Ranger big figure, but I did get the small like flip head one at some point. I remember I had that one. And yeah, I was pretty into that. Like when that first series came around, and then they did the first movie. They did like the first Power Rangers movie. I remember that. And then they did the second one, the Turbo one with the cars. And yeah, after that, then my interest
You
kind of
tapped out. Yeah.
I kind of tapped out. Yeah, I wasn't really.
Why don't you like
anymore.
a 8-year-old becoming a full-grown man in a Power Ranger outfit? What's wrong with that?
Yeah, that was a little weird.
It's either I think he's like 8 or 10. That kid's actually the man is actually now a badass martial artist. You would never expect it.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he actually really loves Power Rangers. Still, he's hugely in the community. And speaking of the Green Ranger, as we said last time about Chester, this time we're in the month of Jason David Frank's unfortunate passing. Rest in peace to Tommy Oliver, and just everybody in his family is awesome. His daughter is literally taking up the throne, for him right now. She is doing what she can for the fans, and she actually wore his outfit. Sadly, but she did wear his outfit for a couple of fans just so that she could show appreciation for her father's work. Yeah. And the movie should come out next year now. They had it originally set for this year, but then they said it was just too tight with the schedule and everything, and I think the actor strike was going on, so it was just hard.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it. Power Rangers is literally one of my favorite things ever. I had every single set from Lost Galaxy to like Mystic Force, and you guys don't know what any of that is, but
I do.
Good. One person.
But hey, this is okay. This is the stuff that I'm a nerd about to an extent. Good.
So
I know Lost Galaxy. I know Mystic Force. I keep up on some of this stuff still.
Did you like Tommy's return in Dino Thunder?
It was pretty good. I know there was some weird stuff because there was like a long time where they just kind of he never actually like appeared in the show for some reason. I think he had to like leave.
Oh yeah, you mean like he was in outfit in his.
Yeah, it was like it was like he had became invisible, so it was all voiceover. Then after they fixed the invisibility, he was like stuck in his Ranger suit.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because his actual ability was invisibility.
Invisibility, yeah.
And I'm thinking it was because he had created his karate school at that time, so he's probably so busy on the side.
It was something like that. I
always been involved in that community, but my God, that's so cool. You actually know stuff. Some people, it's like it's hard to find anyone that followed anything like you said after Mighty Morphin. It's so for a lot of people to say I stuck through to the end, but I could say if you have not seen In Space right after Turbo, hell of a season.
There's a thing I would bring up about Power Rangers is like In Space was like basically was gonna be the last season, but Power Rangers has this weird knack of every time they get what's gonna be the last season, they decide like, okay, we're just gonna pull out like all the stops and make it the best season ever, and then they get renewed for another season.
Yep.
That's happened like I think it was RPM was also a similar thing where they decided it was like gonna be the last season. They're like, all right, well, fuck it, we're doing Power Rangers in the Apocalypse.
That was such a cool idea.
Yeah.
And they actually had deeper themes, and then they had these stupid googly eye Megazords.
Yeah.
I don't
But the one thing
understand.
is though, they make fun that they got like one of the goofiest looking like
Like,
Sentai series.
why on earth did Japan have to do that for that
I know.
specific series?
Well, it wasn't that. It was that they had to adapt that series.
Yeah, that's true.
So it was kind of
They had to work with what they had.
Yeah.
But it was the most self-aware meta Power Rangers series.
It was very good. And then
season.
even one of the more recent ones actually like there it kind of ended a little bit on a cliffhanger where it's like, oh, the villain's not fully dead, and one of the more recent seasons actually brought it back in a way. That's actually kind of cool.
That's true. I think that the Doctor came back.
Beast Morph. Well, it was the villain came back because it turned out the villain in Beast Morphers was like a recoded villain from the RPM.
Okay, that's it.
So they
Alan,
brought back the
we're going to
Doctor
talk
from RPM
philosophy. Brian, we're talking Power Rangers. Jason, we're
Power
going to figure
Rangers,
out what we
Yu-Gi-Oh,
got.
Pokemon,
Yeah.
I got it all.
And JJ needs to speak. We're going to get him speaking now.
Oh,
JJ,
here
childhood
we go.
memories. Give me the nostalgia trip. I need to know what you were into, that you loved the most. Doesn't have to be a toy anymore.
My favorite crazy thing as a child from like 2 to 7 was the Wiggles, dude. I was like all big on that shit. Like my mom literally bought me every fucking action figure. She bought me every like fucking plate that had. I was like, oh my gosh, and like some of that stuff we still have, and it's like, really? I used to like this stuff. It's like, oh my gosh, all right, cool.
Do you ever compare it to other shows that are like it, kind of like Yo Gabba Gabba and shit?
Exactly. Yeah, I used to watch this stuff with my sister when she was growing up, and it was like, damn, I actually used to watch this stuff. That's crazy.
I thought you'd be like offended, be like, this is a knockoff. They're nothing like the Wiggles. They don't understand the real lore that this brought to me. These Australian men really spoke to me as a child.
Right? Yeah, like big time. Like,
I mean,
guess that's
you
kinda-
laugh. The Wiggles are like the best selling like Australian musical act internationally.
They are.
100% correct, yes. But they're like what, in their 50s now?
They've
Something like that,
replaced
yeah, at
like
least.
almost. I think they replaced almost every member by this point.
I would hope. Oh shit. I would say Blue's Clues was like my favorite with the live action cartoon feel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was what I collected, as well as the Power Ranger stuff. I would always sit in my thinking chair and watch every episode with my notebook and
Oh
take notes
yeah.
on everything. Yeah. Good times with Steve, not Joe. We all know that Steve matters.
Yeah,
most.
yeah. Steve was dope.
Remember that viral clip of him where he's like, "Hey guys, I'm sorry,
You're all
I
grown up now.
Oh yeah.
left you." Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
I'm all grown up now, but I just want you to know that we're all friends. It's like, stop it, man. That hurts. It hurts so
dude,
much.
I was like, oh my god, that was so crazy. I was like, damn, bro, he's talking to like millions of children's souls right now. It's like, damn, bro, that's crazy.
Every millennial was just in tears on that day.
Yeah, we were just like,
And looking at him too, you're like, he's bald. Like, what happened? How did that happen?
Ace, man. Like, oh, the slap in the face, man.
It's supposed to be 19 for life.
Yeah.
That's how I feel, at least.
Yeah, I'm sure that's how people felt with Mr. Rogers.
Oh my God, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yeah.
Most of us aren't supposed to know about that. Apparently, it was supposed to be a bigger thing in the like late 70s, early 80s, and it stayed all the way to the 90s.
Yeah.
And the popularity just got bigger.
Technically, it's still around. It's just not Mr. Rogers anymore.
Oh, Daniel Tiger?
Yeah.
Yeah. Daniel Tiger is like the weirdest thing though, because it's like I don't want to see a cartoon of the great live action Mr. Rogers. I need to have somebody taking off their real shoes and putting on different shoes.
Yeah.
It's important.
That was
all of it.
that symbolism, man, like that act, that gesture of just taking off your shoes and putting them back on, like that is nuts, man. Like it's just one of those things. You're just like, whoa, like no one does that, no one does that.
Yeah.
It's just like it's something so simple but so meaningful at the same time. It's like, wow, yeah, it's nuts, man. It's nuts.
Yes. And
sorry, we interrupted Mr. Wiggles.
he was a gentle soul as well. That was the greatest thing about Mr. Rogers, is that he could work for any age. And did you guys see the documentary, the one with Tom Hanks playing him?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, I didn't.
Oh no, that's
that one.
Well, there's two different things. That's not the documentary.
Sorry,
that's
biopic.
But there was also a documentary.
I did not
I've
see
not
the
seen the
documentary.
biopic. I've seen the documentary.
We're in the exact opposite zone. Okay.
Hmm.
The biopic was actually really good. I like the themes of it, and I really understood a little bit more of what the reason the show was so successful was. It was like all of these just heartfelt messages and just getting through worst situations. And it actually did show that even he, who seemed to be in this serene, happy, peaceful place, had some serious problems that he had dealt with before, and his coping was this show and just his full-on commitment to making kids' lives better. And that was like the best thing I've seen. And Tom Hanks is just an amazing actor, so he just I can't even speak. He just like became Mr. Rogers, and he did the same thing for what was Man Called Otto last year. That was awesome.
Oh yeah, that was a really good movie.
I like that movie. I like that movie a lot.
All right, JJ. Now I won't cut you off. What else do you have besides the Wiggles from the nostalgia land?
For me, like my favorite toy to play with was RC cars. Like ever since like 7 years old, I would just
Radio Shack?
rip them out, dude. Oh yeah.
Radio Shack. How about the one that you knock it into a wall, it flips upside down, and it drives past back at you? Yes. Yes. Good times, man. Good times.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you ever have the moment where you had something else that was remote control? I had these little hockey players and shit, and I was trying to move my car, and then the hockey player started moving, and I was like, what?
I did have a plane at some fucking point. I was like 10 or 11 at that, but it was a big ass plane, and I was like, dude, I remember how to drive this thing. Like, oh my god!
But you never had it where
the day I tested it out.
Did you ever have it where like crossed like radio signals?
No.
No, you've never had that? Maybe
No.
my house is just possessed. That could be. But seriously, like so many times I would click something and then another toy would move instead of the one that I was currently on, because I was just in the radius of it. It was the weirdest thing.
Well, we did have that recently back in my old house with Jason's amp.
His amp?
Yeah.
We picked up a trucker's radio signal, and he was talking to us about.
Oh yeah, that was so weird.
Really scary. Really
Yeah,
scary.
it's like, and it's weird because like I'm like, he was like talking, like you could kind of hear him through the amp. He's like, "Who is this?" and blah blah. We're like, "Hello, hello," and then they're like, "Hello, what the heck?" Like, who? And then like,
You guys suck.
yeah, it's like we were talking like two ways. It was so weird. It was so, it happened like a couple of times, I think, at least a couple of times.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was scary.
I think at one point I was actually pitching for our song of Spirits, I was pitching us to call it something based off of that. Like Spirit Box or something. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You could have created the name before the band existed and then patented it.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. I mean, obviously terrifying because you didn't know it was going to happen, but that's still awesome to know that it like picked up a random radio and you were able to communicate with somebody that you would never expect. Have you guys ever seen the 90s movie Frequency?
Yeah.
No.
Nah.
I remember.
Yeah, I think I've seen it. I think I've seen it. I vaguely remember it though.
Okay. It was Dennis Quaid, and he played a firefighter. And something happened. I won't spoil anything at all, but time changed. It's now in the future, and there's only one way to figure out how to solve a murder case, and that is to get guidance from the past. That is what
Fuck, bro. I don't think I remember that movie. That sounds dope.
Yeah, dude. It is underrated. My grandpa was telling me about it. He was like, "You got to see this movie." I was like, "All right, cool. I'll watch it with you." And so that's what we did like 2 years ago. And I was like, "This is amazing." I showed it to my fiance. She's like, "This is awesome." I'm like, "I know, right? Like the twist at the end, like, wow. Like you'd never expect this stuff."
It was pretty good. I remember seeing that when it first came out, and then watching it on HBO and stuff. I was like, "Damn, this is like really good movie." Get choked up a little bit.
Yes.
Oh shit! I'm gonna watch that after this, man.
It's considered sci-fi, family movie, and a thriller. It's perfect for Father's Day. Truly perfect for Father's Day. It's crazy how it mixes how all of these tones together, but it is a really, really solid film. And Jason, you got to see it in theaters?
Yeah.
How many people were like in theaters with you? Is this like a big, huge show, or was this like something that someone heard of and they were like, I guess I'll see it?
When that movie came out, it kind of went under the radar. Like it was, I don't remember it being like huge. It was just one of those movies where me and my dad went to go see it, and we're like, I think we saw a trailer in another movie, and it was like, hey, we should go see this movie. Like it looks pretty decent, and we're like, yeah, okay, cool. And then we went to go see it, and I was like, damn, it was really good.
Yeah. Very, very unexpected twists and turns, and just like you said, it does get you choked up at times. You do get some heartfelt stuff, and then you get this insanely dark other story where you're like, holy shit, did we just go there? I did not expect that to happen. Like you're completely thrown off, and then you're in a state of a complete you're just a mess at that point, because you're like, what could possibly happen? This is horrible. The most unimaginable thing happened. It's crazy. It's such a well-made movie. I'm super excited if they actually make it into a TV show, because they were talking about it, and I think that they scrapped it a couple of times. I don't think it ever got greenlit. But like the directors like really focused on the science in order for the movie to happen. Like you can go into the bonus features for the DVD, and they talk about like all of the actual scientific evidence that they needed in order to prove that this could happen. It has to do with the Northern Lights. I will say that. It's crazy.
Aurora Borealis.
Correct. Aurora Borealis.
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah,
getting the Simpsons in here now.
But JJ, back to your RC car and stuff like that. Do you have any superheroes that you played with remote controls? Like I had like the Spider-Man one, and it was so cool.
No, I don't think I had any superheroes.
No superheroes. Okay, I had a Power Ranger one too. It was awesome.
I just had the action figures. No remote control.
Gotcha.
I had all of them. It was crazy.
Did you have anything that walked, like that robot, that famous robot from the 90s?
No.
No?
Not that I can think of.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, there we go. That's our history of toys. It's great that we're in an elementary school classroom talking about toys.
Yeah.
Funny.
Now I could resize everybody and have you all sitting in chairs. We'll be tiny little guys. But is there any questions you guys have for me on this final part of this interview?
What is love?
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. No more.
I always do that. It's like my favorite song. One of my favorite.
Yeah. Is it because of Night at the Roxbury?
Yeah.
That's probably going to be the intro. But that is a good question. What is love? What does love mean to people? Love for me is an unconditional feeling that you have towards a very few amount of people. That could be family members, that could be friends, and the way that you truly show this unconditional love is to never judge anything that person is going through, and never judge them for whatever they're going through. And all of my friends, no matter what I say, as extreme as I am, I don't know if you guys saw me, but I roasted the shit out of Olivia Rodrigo, and my friends were like totally on my side. They're like, we got you, man. We're going to jump in the comments, start attacking people. I was like, hey man, I'm never going to take back my opinion. It's not going to happen unless my viewpoint changes. But at that time I was like so sour, pardon the pun, but I was so sour with her music. I was like, this is just the same shit all the time. She just talks about one relationship, and now her new album, 6 more songs of the same fucking thing. I was like, oh, great. Yippee. But most people took I called her a cunt in the beginning, and they were like, oh, that's
nice.
Against the rules. How could you say that? And all I'm thinking is like, in Britain, that's like an everyday use word. That's like, that's like only America would care about this bullshit. And somebody actually came up with the idea that I was misogynist and I think racist towards Filipino people or Filipinas.
What?
Wow.
I don't know, man. I didn't talk about her race. I talked about her album. I don't like her because she's a Disney star that ruined High School Musical for me. What can I mean, I have normal criticisms that most normal haters have. And they were like, no, evil. Either way. I digress. I think love is important. I think anybody that judges another person that they truly love is not in that state of mind where they can give themselves, whether that be friendship or relationship, to that person 100%. So the fiance that I have currently, the woman that is the greatest thing in my life, she is also my best friend, and that is something that matters even more to me than the long relationship we've already had, is that we bond together, we do things together, we feel the same things together, and we're always there for each other. Today I bought her, this is a surprise for her, I bought her Dumbo, a little stuffed Dumbo. I found it at a gas station. It was the official Disney version. So I was like, oh my gosh, it's got the big ears and everything. So she's going to love that when I give it to her tomorrow. And I'm going to be like, I was a Dumbo for not having as much time with you this past weekend. That's my definition of love. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Well, I think mine is going to be it's just the dissolving of the self. That's what love is. It's when there's no self anymore, and it's just pure experience. And so you just, because you can love a flower, you can love you can love walls, you can love a television. If there's no self, you can love lamp. Yeah, you can. Yeah,
you really love the lamp, or are you just saying that?
Obviously you can love a human, and
yes.
But that happens when there's no self, and there isn't. So you just have to, you have to look for the self only to give up, and then realize there wasn't a self there in the first place. So,
dude, write a book, for the love of God. There was no self there in the first place.
Yeah.
There is no spoon.
But you got to look for it. You got to see it for yourself.
I love it. All right. JJ has become, I don't even know, a dust bunny.
Oh no.
So
he has now become the ghost.
And he's gone. He has become the ghost. All right, Jason, what is your definition of love? This is actually a great question to finish.
I guess I'd probably say just kind of like the way you explained it, like the way
me or him
or Dan. Yeah, but some of like what Alan said as well. I think that's like a pretty good definition.
Yeah,
of what love is.
Can you repeat what I said?
Giving your full self, losing your own individuality, becoming one. Yeah. Really understanding, as opposed to just seeing and saying you like it.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not an object anymore. It's more of a personal gain in your life that you want to be closer to. And my fiance, I've made leaps and bounds over these past 10 years or so to really create more of a wonderful, loving experience than this shady past that I had with my ex. And it helped me grow, because she was always there supporting that. She was always saying, like, I don't care what happens, I'm there for you. I'm there for you. Like, that means more than anything. So
yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna move Jason right there.
There you go.
I'll take JJ's spot.
We're gonna wait for JJ to come back, then I'll put him on the left.
If he makes it.
After he comes back, I'll be like, on your left.
Yeah.
On your left.
There you go.
Brian, what would you consider love?
I don't know. Well, no, it's
Baby, don't hurt me.
I don't know. I heard that love is an open door, and that open door could be the power of love. And I believe in a thing called love.
Oh,
but in the end of the day, I don't see what love's got to do with it.
Oh my God!
I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. I felt like I had to do that. I don't know. I've never thought about it, and I feel like I don't. I'm not prepared to answer that question right now. I don't feel.
Gotcha. Do you feel brotherly love when you're in this band? Let's do that question.
Yeah.
Because
I love you,
brotherly love. I can't even speak words.
Brotherly love. Yep.
Brotherly love is I love you, man. That
Yeah.
is like one of the most important things in any situation, whether you're going to be in a career, whether you're going to be in a unit of like an army or something like that. You need to be brothers, and as band mates, as brothers, you guys can create so much more together, because even though you'll have your disagreements like brothers do, you'll still love each other as you should, and you'll create something much more powerful because of those little bits, little tidbits of issues. Everybody has them, and they help you grow, as we said in the beginning with Alan's amazing testimony to philosophy and the meaning of life. And dude, I literally had no idea you were going for existentialism. Like, how do you start a podcast? That's how you do it. That's how you do it, folks. Next time, the Bible. Is it real, or are we going to be lied to once again?
I feel like with Alan, it's a grab bag. Sometimes you get the very existential stuff, and then other times you get, the nummy flavors and and cat puppets and
cat puppets. Well, that's good. You have to have a mix of personality traits. It's important. It creates a whole being if you have multiple personalities without being bipolar. I mean,
right.
Don't lose yourself. I've definitely had those moments before where I'm just like, who am I? What am I doing? Yeah. But then
this is not my beautiful house.
What am I?
Where are you? Yeah. But guys, thank you so much again for joining me for another awesome interview. And I'm glad that we were able to have a little bit more fun and simple, laid back, casual chat. I love that we had a lot more deep conversation as well. And I love that you were too close to the screen and then disappeared in 6 seconds. Like, it was awesome.
My foot.
No worries. But thank you guys again for joining me, and I really, really hope that you enjoy the reaction. I'm going to send it to you probably right after this. I got to make sure that it's all good.
Fuck yeah.
And you guys can watch it. It's not going to be edited yet. I have to edit it probably Saturday, and then I'll drop it along with the interview. No, wait, it has to come out Friday.
Yeah,
I'll edit it right after this. That's what I'll do.
Right.
And then I'll send it to you, so it's all ready to go, and then you guys can give me your feedback on it. The band that you reminded me of this time, because you always have a different voice, it seems. In my mind, at first, you were Bruce Dickinson, then you became Miles Kennedy. Now you've moved to David Draymond and the guy from Seven Dust.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So great evolution through new metal.
Oh, nice. Looks like Jason lost his Wi-Fi or some shit.
Yeah.
One after another one bites the dust. That is okay. But thanks again, guys. I really had a great time with you, and I hope you guys did as well. And we will definitely be chatting again when the next song comes out or album comes out. And I want to know when you guys are going to be setting up those next tours and stuff like that, so I can promote it in my story for anybody that is in California. I do have more of a fan base now, and I don't know if you guys saw, but I do have a connection now to a semi-famous label that is going to be worldwide, well known, and they're letting me be their promoter. So it's super fun.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I'm super excited to show more people some of their artists, and they're helping me pay for gas, so that is important to me. That's really all I ever wanted, is like just something where I can take care of the necessity that takes all of my money every week.
Yeah,
there you go, man. There you go.
So
you
it's
just got to make enough to just be at peace.
Exactly. I want to be in that zone where I can just know that I have the right satisfaction without the material satisfaction that you were talking about, where it's this true relief, as opposed to thinking like, I don't know how I'm going to afford this and this and this if I have this to pay for. It's very nice. But thanks again for watching, everyone that watched this awesome interview. I promise it's going to be amazing editing. I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's going to be amazing. Everybody's going to be in the same line. Somehow Brian's head won't be floating the whole time. And thank you guys for watching. I hope all of you have an awesome night. Make sure that you guys are checking out everything from Slanderus. All the information in the description down below. And what would you guys like to say last?
Banana.
Bananas and water are better for the monkeys on the island. Thanks again for watching. Have an awesome night and stay safe out there. Peace. Thank you for tuning in to the Media Man Dan podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks for listening. Have an awesome day and stay safe out there. Peace.
No, but I was saying that you moved your spirituality moved from we'll call it the mythic and the archaic age to the logic and rational age, because it's not obvious to us in the beginning, when we're experimenting with these things. It's like, what is reality, what is fantasy, because those two things mix. Those two things mix in the beginning. When especially when you're a child, it's like reality and fantasy mix.
Yes.
And so, so then religion is sort of like, okay, well, here's fantasy, but it sort of tries to get you into reality as well through the fantasy. And then once you understand the fantasy, and then you start to differentiate between reality, let's say the inner world and the outer world, and you're like, okay, well, what is this outer world? It remains constant. And then you start to develop a concept of truth, and then that's when you go into the rational, logical phase of spirituality. So that's where you're at. You're like, you tend to believe in, or try to seek what is stable, what is true, what is constant, But that is a value that you've derived from, the mythic and we'll call it archaic stage of spirituality, because there's different stages to spirituality. And I think that's where you're at, and your growth as a human being. I think atheism is a logical conclusion to Christianity. I don't see it as something outside of it. I think you'll eventually get there. Honestly, you'll eventually, because you're taught that truth is the most the apex value, right? It's the most important value. So then that instills doubt, because you start searching for truth, and you think, okay, well, is this true? Is my beliefs true? And then you start even, self-reflecting, and then you go into, you're like, well, what if this is all fake? What if this is all fake?
Yep, the what ifs.
So, and the doubts. That's why. But churches, they try to keep people, at a certain, manipulatable way or manipulable stage in life. So they say, don't doubt, just believe. And, they try to repress the doubts, but the doubts will eventually win in the end, just as truth always wins in the end.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The way that you were talking about atheism, a lot of people would be like, oh, how dare you bring up such a disgraceful thing in the church? How could you possibly? But the way that I see it is, the more that you accept those that are outside of your realm, the more that you understand where their views come from, the more that you are either a stronger Christian, or, like you said, then you become agnostic, atheist, whatever that's going to be.
Yeah.
But in the logical standpoint, I always have to question, is this actually real? Is this actually happening? As opposed to, oh my gosh, the shades are awesome, JJ. But I always ask myself, I'm like, is this just a coincidence? Is this just something that happens? And most of the time the conclusion comes to, this needed to happen in order for this to happen. A chain reaction, with science, of course, being in mind for that. A chain reaction usually adds up to something beautiful. So in my case, horrible experience with bad relationship equals therapy for other people, including myself. But I give them the advice that I need to hear myself. And then I take that and I carry it on my shoulder. And I say, I didn't say this through my own words. Something said this through me, but I needed to hear this message. And so that's how I've been analyzing spirituality and God's word and all of that.
Well, your own suffering is the message. So your own suffering will tell you what you need to pay attention to. So like mental anguish, let's say, as opposed to physical anguish, is the same in nature, as far as it's a warning signal. So when you have pain in your body's telling you, hey, pay attention to this. There's something wrong here. And so suffering is the mind body part of that. So it tells you, hey, something's off. This is your reality is distorted. You need to look at this. You need to understand what's going on because your reality is distorted, which is causing suffering. So especially like if when we're a child, we get a cut in our finger, we take it personally. You get a cut on your finger, you're like, ah, and the whole world's crashing down, because you don't understand the pain yet. There isn't but you start growing up and you start isolating yourself, and then you don't identify with the pain, and you're like, oh, it's just a cut, and the suffering is the same way. We still identify with our suffering, and there's still a distortion in reality. And so if we pay attention to it, then we start to understand, and we dissolve the lie that is in our belief system that is causing the suffering. So the suffering itself is a good enough indicator for you to take a look and reflect, and when you keep doing that, because more suffering will come up. When you uncover suffering, there's more suffering underneath usually. It's usually in layers until you get to the bottom, which is the core.
I'm gonna
when you get to the core, exactly. Yes,
You walked
I was
into the
thinking the
layer
same
part.
thing, but thought it'd be impolite to mention it.
I was like,
Nah,
I'm just
it's
gonna
okay,
break
it's
down
okay.
this whole serious conversation and put on Shrek. Whoop.
Like an onion,
Yeah, like an
Yeah,
onion.
yeah.
But I see where you're coming from. It is layers of pain. And that actually
Yeah.
does work with lyrical strategy as well. Is like layers of pain are going to equal more significance, more meaning when you're listening to music. You're going to feel something more than a party song or something like that. One of my favorite songs by Eminem is Beautiful because he's suffering or has suffered so much, and he's just expressing that in song, and it just works because you're feeling what he feels. Also the music in the background matches the tone of that. And speaking of matching tone and music and everything, this brand new song is pretty deep with lyrics. I didn't catch all of them on the reaction because it's a first time listen, so I never can go deep on it unless I pause and just replay and replay and replay and replay until comprehension magically just starts working. ADHD is a bitch.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, man, I loved a lot of what I was hearing, and it seemed like it was a very serious song, as opposed to a lot of other songs like we were talking about with Forrest Gump and just the random rhyming one.
Yeah, the random shit. Yeah.
So what?
I like the comedic rap sometimes too.
Yeah. What kind of things happened in order for this song to be created?
I would say my journey. I would say my journey of where I'm at, and which is it's a journey to nowhere, honestly, because it's like it's a journey to arrive at the place I was always at. So that's where I'm going, and the song "Invert Your Eyes," it just really means close your eyes. That's what it means. It means to invert attention inwardly instead of outwardly, and whenever you have it really just it ties into what I just said. It's to learn to look at what is making you suffer. That's why I summon the demons of my fear. That's the first line in the song, which is like, okay, look at your own demons, look at your own shortcomings, look at your own your hurt, and just pay attention. Just pay attention to because usually we want to get rid of our suffering. We just we feel it and we're like, oh, I don't like this, I don't want this. How do I get? And so we look for ways to get rid of it. And we never try to understand it. We don't care to understand it.
Yes.
We just want to get rid of it. We don't care to understand it. And so in that way, it's just like I even give instructions. It's like, allow the fear to grow, allow the darkness to be, just pay attention. I promise you, you'll be okay. I promise you, you'll be okay. That's what I said the final chorus is, my friend, my pal, what did I say? Shit, I can't remember. You'll be all right, or some shit like that. I can't remember exactly what I said. So it's like when you embrace your suffering forthrightly, without trying to get rid of it and just allowing it to flower, you begin to understand it. And like the child who cuts his finger, you're no longer gonna cry when you cut your finger. And so you're not gonna identify with your suffering. You're not gonna think that you're suffering, because right now, especially when you don't know what's going on, the suffering controls you.
Yes.
The suffering controls you.
I'm glad you returned to that analogy, because that actually that patched it up. That was like a band-aid over the cut. What's Anyway, to quote something very serious, in the words of Rafiki from Lion King, the past can hurt, but the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it. I do enjoy that deeper meaning that Disney used to have before they went woke as fuck. But
no,
yeah, like it works. It is one of life's greatest lessons is pain, and the way that you perceive pain, like you said, that you're going to learn from it, or you're going to analyze it. You're going to say, what does this mean, as opposed to instant feel, like you said, cutting your finger, or instant pain is going to not feel as horrible as it once did when you were younger. My perception changed long over time.
Yeah, the cool thing is like what's on the other side, and that's the good part. That's really why we do it. Like there's something pulling us to confront our suffering, and we're running away from it, but something always pulls us back to confront it. Because when we run away, we get pulled back. We run away, we get pulled back. And we're always going to be pulled back. And that force that pulls us back into, let's say, the core of our being. Because the core of our being is pulling us into our true nature, what we are, and that force is grace. That force is God, I would like to say.
Yes.
So it pulls us. You can call it God. You can call it true nature. You can call it whatever you want, whatever label you want to put on it.
Do you want to do the Gen Z version? The universe.
Yeah, the universe.
The universe is telling me that I need to get Starbucks right now.
Yeah. You could use the universe, I guess. It's kind of
I'm just derailing it for the sake
doesn't
of
do
humor.
it justice. But once you get through it, like once it's gone, it's like what is there is just happiness. It's just happiness and love, which is our what we are. We are that.
Yes.
We are awareness. We are that which loves, that which knows. That's when you get to the past your identity, and you go past your identity, because you have your sense of self, and once you get past that, it's just pure awareness, pure love, pure happiness. And it's crazy, like, to me, and I tell people this, it's like people are searching for something that they already have. It's like people are mad, like people look for status, they look for sex, they look for money, they look for feeling better than everybody else. I gotta have the best car, I gotta have the bombest bitch, I gotta have the most followers, let's say, on Instagram. I have to have the most clout. It's like they're looking for all these things just to produce this feeling that they can already produce in the first place.
Artificial satisfaction versus actual satisfaction.
So they make up all these rules, to feel this thing that they can already do right now in the first place. But there's all these distortions, reality, this suffering says, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this, I have to do that. And so you have to untangle all that shit. You untangle it, but you have to look, you have to realize it. This isn't something I can just say. You have to look and see it for yourself. Otherwise, there's no point. Like, you have to really see and look for yourself. There's no point in me telling you. You have to look for yourself.
Dude, you have to sell this self-help model right now. You need to make your own podcast. Be like serious talks with Alan or something like that.
Yeah. Well, it's like the self-help. It's like you have to learn that you actually don't need help. You're fine. Like you just need to stop being stupid.
Yeah, it's psychological engagement to open open your world to the
Yeah.
idea that you're not
Like,
in the worst.
It's like get out of your own way, like that saying.
Exactly.
Like, get out of your own way. It's what it is, man. We're in our own way. We're in our own way.
Yes. And speaking of that, with my coworkers and everything that's been just overwhelming recently at work, my coworker was like, Dan, I noticed that you're getting a little overwhelmed with things. You should probably talk to a psychiatrist about it. And I'm like, actually, you're not wrong. I probably should talk to somebody about it, see if there's like some way to help this. But then my other coworker was like, Dan, I think that you're listening to the voice in your head. I wouldn't trust that guy. And I was like, you're not wrong either. That's probably pretty true. Yeah. So instead of the offensive, like we would be like, oh, how dare you say that to me? I am at this status and there's no possible way you could understand what I'm going through. But no, I was open to it. I was like, I'm not going to take offense to that. I'm like, yeah, no, I do need to improve in some ways. And I do need to get my mind out of this panic state. So I'm like, yeah, anything that helps. And these people are obviously supposed to say this to me today. I always say, if it's supposed to happen, it happens. If it's not supposed to, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, well, that panic state is a consequence of we're taught since we're young that we have to be successful. We have to be something. And so, if you sit around and do nothing and become a bum, you feel like shit. You feel like shit. You're just like, oh, fuck, like, what am I doing with my life? Those kinds of questions are questions that aren't really something that you desire to do. You feel pressure, let's say from a illusory society, because no one really gives a shit. Really, no one gives a shit. But we in our heads, we think people give a shit. And so, so we're like, oh, I have to be successful and all those things. And if you, and that's where the anxiety comes from. And let's say the demons and the fear. But once you look at it and dissolve it, you understand that there was no one cares, no one gives a shit. But you have to see it for yourself. If you don't see it for yourself, it doesn't matter. You're gonna be scared by ghosts. You're gonna be scared by ghosts your entire life until you look at the ghosts and you realize that they were never there in the first place.
They were never there. Oh, so deep, man. All right, hold on. With the chalkboard behind me, I'm gonna write down like philosophy with Alan. That's that's how it's gonna be. We're gonna start it out like that because this is the best way I've ever started an interview. Like right off the bat, it's like forget about everything fun. Let's go straight into existential crisis.
Raw dog, bro. Straight in.
What is God? Yes. Oh my gosh. But yeah, we can go into all of that. I'm absolutely open to that as well. I just want to make sure that everybody's included, of course. But I'm gonna keep that chat in. Don't worry. I want to make sure that we'll have like a one-on-one sometime in the future just to talk about that kind of that mindset, and it is such a awesome thing. It is literally a revelation for anyone that gets to that point in their life where they can realize, like you said, they've been trapped in their own cage. They've never really understood that they've never really had ghosts haunting them for all of their life.
They're unaware. They're unaware. That's what I mean. They're unaware, so they suffer, but they don't know why. And it's in the back of their mind. It's subconscious. And then, once you start dissolving it, you start to realize it's like, wait a minute, why do I think this? These are not thoughts or decisions or beliefs that we ever decided to make. It's not something like we're like, oh, I'm going to try to impress everyone. We see everyone trying to impress everyone else. And so we think, okay, so that's what I have to do, because beliefs are transferred through behavior. They're not, you can say, we've been going through books and all this shit, but if what we act out our beliefs, like I use an example of like a piece of cheese, right? You have a perfectly healthy piece of cheese, you put it on the table, and you put it in the middle of the table, and suddenly everyone starts looking at the piece of cheese, and no one touches the piece of cheese. So automatically you think, okay, well, there's something wrong with the piece of cheese, even though the piece of cheese is a perfectly fine piece of cheese. But it's the way that everyone looks at the piece of cheese and no one touches it. And so no one touches it, you think something's wrong with the piece of cheese. And so that's a belief. And so everyone, society, everyone's trying to be better than everyone else. And so what does that tell you? Okay, so then I have to be better than everyone else. So then that also tells you another lie. I am different than everyone else. Why? Because everyone else is trying to be something better or different. So then that's how you develop an identity. And you develop an identity saying, okay, well, I'm different than everyone else because everyone else is trying to be different. And so what happens is then you feel isolated and you feel alone because of a lie that everyone is feeding into. They think that they're different from everyone else, but they're not. At our core, we're the same. And that's why you have to get down, and you get down to your identity, and you see that's also a lie. It was you were never different, but everyone acted as though that was the case. And so you believe this lie, and everyone's under this illusion. Like it's bananas.
It is bananas.
And so,
and I'm going to talk about bananas next. Hold on. Before you continue, because like I said, we need to have more engagement with everybody involved. Okay.
My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm just
ahead,
my first question. It's going to be a hilarious joke, Alan. When you have a band meeting, is there 5 minutes of recording space that happens after the 45-minute conversation? Just making sure that there's some room in there when you guys get together. Is it literally philosophy like 101 and then you go?
Not really. No,
I'm just special. I get the best of you. No worries.
They don't give a shit.
No worries. Okay. Let me do a final analogy that I heard in a movie. It's called Tribulation Force or Tribulation, something like that. It's with Howie Mandel and Gary Busey. It's a weird, like post-apocalyptic kind of movie, kind of like Left Behind. And they have this serious analogy where it's talking about monkeys on an island and what they do with the banana. So like a lot of monkeys are on one side of the island and they've never seen this other group of monkeys, and these other group of monkeys dip their banana into the water before they eat it. One time another monkey from the other side of the island happens to cross over, sees that the monkeys are dunking their bananas in the water, and now all the monkeys are dunking their banana in the water. Just like you said, that lack of individualism, because you're following either what you think is right or you're telling yourself that you're better than this, so you have to dunk your banana into the water. You need to grab the hors d'oeuvres that are on there. You need to grab your piece of cheese. You need to play more mousetrap with your kids. I don't know what you need to do, but it is truly an awesome thing. Philosophy is one of my favorite things, because it blows my mind every single time I'm listening to anyone talk about it, just like you right now. And my favorite book is based on it. I don't know if you've ever heard of Way of the Peaceful Warrior by Dan Millman, but it's a fantastic story, basically following the hero's journey, usual writing style of English and what we see in movies, but it's with a character that's self-realizing that he has more power than he's ever known, and that he has more to learn than he's ever had to learn before, because in his mind, in his ego, he was set in one direction for his whole life. And now this man he named Socrates, but he is a
Socrates
wizard or some type of very powerful being, and he gives him the answers to what his actual purpose is in life. And I love that, and that's what I took away from the book. And anytime somebody brings up philosophy, it brings me back to that book, and I don't like books, so that's how much it means to me.